Okay, why if I told you that you could actually hack your brain to crave studying? I know, it sounds crazy, right? Like you want it to crave textbooks the same way it craves that endless social media scroll. But honestly, the science behind it is way simpler than you think. So let's break down exactly how you can do it. So let's start with a feeling that I'm pretty sure we've all had. You sit down, you're totally determined, like, this is it, I'm gonna study. And then what feels like just a few seconds later, you're 3 hours deep into a social media rabbit hole and you have no idea how you even got there. So why does this happen? What is actually going on inside our brains? Well, the answer, the reason for all of this, it really comes down to just one powerful little word: dopamine. Yep, this is the chemical culprit. It's the neurotransmitter that is secretly running the whole show. All right, so let's get into the science of it, because look, if we're gonna solve this problem, we first have to understand exactly how our brains are being, well, hijacked by this powerful little chemical. So what is dopamine, really? We hear this word all the time. The simplest way to think about it is as the feel-good chemical in your brain. It's basically your brain's internal reward system. It's like this little voice that pops up and goes, "Hey, that felt good. Let's do that again." And this idea of it being a heat-seeking missile, that's absolutely key. Your brain isn't just sitting around, passively waiting for pleasure to show up. No, it is actively hunting for dopamine. It's a survival instinct, really. And the thing is, modern technology is designed, it's engineered to exploit this instinct perfectly. And this right here, this chart, it just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you've got social media. It takes basically zero effort, right? And you get an instant dopamine reward. Every like, every swipe, bam, dopamine. But on the other side, you have studying, high effort, and the reward is, well, it's delayed. So when your brain is faced with that choice, which path do you think it's going to take? It's not even a fair fight, is it? So what's the result of all this? Well, your phone is basically giving you this constant, high-intensity feast of dopamine. Think of it like this. Your brain's pleasure thermostat has been cranked all the way up to max. So now, something like studying, which offers just this sort of subtle, gentle warmth, it doesn't even register anymore. It just feels, well, boring. Okay, so how do we fight back against this? The good news is, there's a plan. It's a two-step plan. And step one is all about hitting the reset button. We need to do what's called a dopamine detox to get our brain's reward system back to a healthy baseline. And the method for this is actually really simple. Though I'm going to warn you, simple does not mean easy. Here's what you do. For just 15 minutes every single day, your only job is to be bored. That means no phone, no music, no podcasts, nothing. Just you and your own thoughts. I mean, literally, you can just stare at a wall or go for a walk without your headphones. The key is to just embrace the quiet. And I'm telling you, your brain is going to scream at you for a distraction. You are going to feel this intense, almost physical urge to grab your phone. But that discomfort, that's how you know it's working. That's withdrawal. It means you are successfully recalibrating your brain, teaching it to find pleasure in simpler, quieter things again. Okay, but the detox? That's really only half the battle. Once we've lowered that background noise, we have to get proactive. We have to actively make studying more rewarding. We need to hack the system and teach our brain that, yeah, hitting the books can actually be a source of that same feel-good chemical. And it really all starts with a simple mindset shift. Instead of seeing your textbooks as, torture devices, start seeing them as treasure maps. Seriously. You're on a hunt for these little, hidden gems of knowledge, these clues that are genuinely going to change the way you see the world. All right, so here's our first practical hack, the Pomodoro technique. You've probably heard of it. You just study in a super focused 25-minute sprint, and then you take a 5-minute break. The reason this works so well is because your brain loves a clear finish line. It turns what feels like this endless, daunting marathon into a series of short, totally winnable little races. And guess what happens every single time that timer goes off and you finish a 25-minute block? Boom. Your brain gives you a small, satisfying hit of dopamine. You are literally gamifying your own study session. Okay, hack number 2, break everything down into tiny, tiny little tasks. So don't just write study chapter 3 on your to-do list. That's way too big. Instead, read 2 pages, define 5 new terms, solve 1 practice problem. And then, and this part is absolutely crucial, you have to physically check it off. That simple act of making a check mark is a powerful reward signal to your brain. Yeah, you can literally think of each little check mark as a small dopamine booster shot. It just fuels your motivation and makes it so much easier to tackle the very next thing on your list. All right, our third and honestly, maybe the most powerful hack of all is to become the teacher. After you learn a new concept, try explaining it out loud. I don't care if it's to your cat, your plant, or just an empty room. The moment you can actually articulate an idea clearly, your brain registers that as true mastery. And that aha moment, that feeling of, oh, I get it now. That is one of the most satisfying and sustainable dopamine rewards you can possibly get. It's like the brain's ultimate prize for putting in the hard work. So what happens when you put all this together, when you combine the dopamine detox with these clever reward hacks? Well, you start to fundamentally rewire your brain. You literally begin to take back control of your own reward system. And look, this transformation can happen way faster than you might think. Just start today. Seriously. Just 15 minutes of boredom and try one of these study hacks. Within just a couple of weeks, you'll start to feel a shift. Your focus will get easier, and in a month, you might just find yourself in this bizarre new reality where you actually want to open your textbook. So, if there is one single thing you take away from all of this, please let it be this. Your brain is not broken. You're not lazy. You're not undisciplined. Your brain's natural reward system has just been hijacked by technology that was specifically designed to do exactly that. But the really good news is, you have the power to fix it. You can recalibrate it. You can hijack it right back. You can make learning feel good again. So the only real question left is, are you ready to take back control?